Hi, this is Key and Craig's Crazy Craft Corner.
Christmas edition, part 2.
Part 2. We're going to make a doghouse for Zero from Nightmare Before Christmas. We are going to make this doghouse out of styrofoam, and we are going to be building it to go on an archway over our doorway.
If you've seen our Halloween ones, this is just going to go in the same spot. So we have already made these before, just wood with little standers, because we have a conduit that we have to raise it up above, but then this lets it sit on there, and this little doghouse will be on this platform.
Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it out of 4 different layers of styrofoam, just your standard white styrofoam that you get from Home Depot. I go with this because it's cheaper. I know the pink is easier to use and easier to craft with, but the pink is like $8 for a little square of it, whereas
it's
this
like
stuff
2 by 2 or something like that.
Yeah, a really small bit, whereas this is 4 by 8 for like $10. So it's a lot, it saves you a lot of money using this. So what we're gonna do is after we cut it out, we're gonna glue it, install it. We're gonna put it on this piece of wood by drilling holes in this wood, putting this stake through it, or
spiking it.
Craig calls them lobotomy sticks. We're gonna put the lobotomy stick through, and then we're gonna put the doghouse mounted on top of it. Now we're also gonna use this like dollar store fencing that I got and put on the sides of the doghouse
to add a little detail.
Yeah, and then we're going to do some lights, Christmas lights along the fencing, then along the doghouse and out the other side, and that's going to be our build. So right now we're just going to try and figure out what measurements we want to use. Do our measurements,
do our cuts, do our gluing.
Yep.
And then assemble, and after it's dried, we'll paint it.
Yeah, so we'll show you some different spots along the way as we get things done. If it's anything that we feel is important to the how-to on the video, then we'll stop and do a little explanation of what we're doing. Otherwise, okay, so what we've done is we've gotten the styrofoam cut out in the shape of the doghouse that we want to do. So this is our shape. This is 4 layers of inch-thick styrofoam. So the next thing we're going to do is we've kind of drawn out the opening for the doghouse here. We're going to cut that out. We're going to use the inside piece that's left over to sculpt or cut out the Zero head that goes on the inside. And then we're going to do the Zero lettering. And then for the roof, what we're doing is we're taking our extra pieces that we cut off, because our PVC was 4 foot by, our styrofoam was 4 foot by 32 inches, and we decided to take the width down to 2 feet across and leave the 4 foot aspect of it. So this is 2 feet by 4 feet tall. The extra parts that we cut off on the side we're going to use for our roofing. So we'll put that piece across there, one on the other side as well, and then we're going to cut out individual little shingles, which we're actually going to cut the styrofoam in half this way so that it's thinner, and then we're going to cut out the shingles and place the shingles on top of this. And then after that, pretty much all that'll be left is just gluing it all down and then painting it, and we will show you the finished product at the end of this video. Okay, so what we're going to do for the Zero head is I printed this just off the computer. I put down some tracing paper or carbon paper underneath and just kind of traced my design on the piece that we had cut out of the initial doghouse.
So that was the door.
Yeah, that was the door piece. So I'm just going to cut it out with our hot knife and shave it down some. We have these cool little shaving tools. What are these called?
Sureforms.
Sureform. So if you don't have one of these and you're working a lot with styrofoam, I highly recommend getting one because it makes really nice rounded edges on things. It's a little bit messy, so for our Christmas episode, whee, it's snowing. Okay, that's enough that.
Okay, enough so.
And we also went ahead and did the cross that goes on the very top. And as you can see, this is kind of what I was talking about. This gives you this nice little rounded sanded edge on here. Kind of makes everything just look a little softer than the cuts from the regular knife. And then Craig's gonna do the shingles, because we talked about having the
shingles
wall
on there. Let's turn it so they can see it. And I did the gray one so we can see it against it. So I just took a little scrap of foam just with the hot knife, cut it out really fast, and then what I'll do, and then I cut it in half so it's not as thick. And then what I'm gonna do is I'll make another one and we'll offset it just a little bit maybe, or maybe not, I don't know. And then we'll cut little dips into these so that you don't have to worry about them actually stacking over like real shingles, because then it might get a little bit too thick, although that doesn't look too bad the way I have it now.
Yeah.
So that's one way you can do it, or cut the little notch out so it'll sit flush. Everything will glue easier. You won't have any gaps underneath for the no contact for the glue, and then you'll have your shingle look.
And they won't become spider havens, because anywhere you leave a gap when it's outside for 3 weeks, you're going to have spiders.
This is true, but if there's people are doing this in the Midwest,
that's true.
There's not going to be any spiders.
Well, we're in California, and we are actually like, when we were here earlier, it was freezing.
We were freezing,
now we're
and now
like
the sun's out.
Sweating in our Christmas attire. Yeah. This is basically the finished product, or at least what we're finishing with right now. We have all the pieces cut out. We have this carved out. All we have left to do is
put the 0 on there.
Yeah, all we have left to do is to engrave the 0. This is all just held together with pins right now, so we're going to glue this all together, paint it, put the cross on that we've cut out, and put the shingles on, and that will be it for that. Then we're just going to, as we talked about earlier, mount it on this piece of green board to go across the archway and to give it some stability. And we have a 0 that we're going to attach to it as well at some point. And so we'll do all that and show you some of the finished house when we're all done. And this is our 0 build. I think it went really well.
Is our 0 build? It's like a pre-build?
0 build. Yes.
So it's like a prequel.
Yes.
0 build.
So much for that ending.
Episode 0.
All right. So you want to leave with a Christmas carol?
Sure.
All right, happy Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
So 0's ready for Christmas. I did the shingles 2 across instead of 3. I added some flocking after I painted it to give it a more Christmas feel. Then we put our 0 on the base, added some Christmas lights and a bow, and now it's festive. So like, share, and subscribe. Check out our other DIY videos for Halloween and Christmas inspirations.